I would look at the magazines and I'd see these just what I felt, and they were incredible photographs that some of the great motor racing photographers had shot. And I mean, I just was all over that. And I actually wanted to do other things in art, but the photography really appealed to me more because you got to go out. You got to meet people. You got to go to locations. You got to go to a track. It's like hunting, you know? I mean, find a good spot in the turn, get the good angle, wait for the car to come through. And you know, this is at a time where it really was like hunting. Shooting a photograph today is like going hunting with a machine gun, okay, to just compare it. Back then you had one shot and that's it. And so you'd focus on a spot in the turn. You had no autofocus, you had manual focus. You focus on that spot, pan, wait for the car to come through, and when it hit that spot, click, you do it. And sometimes you'd hit, and a lot of times you'd miss. And I mean, I'm talking the best guys. You didn't walk away with the high percentage of good photographs that you can today. There's an attachment with every photo that you shoot. You know, I mean, I had my photos and I had them packed away, my negatives, for probably at least 20 years. And I had a lot of my friends telling me, you got to bring those out. Man, I mean, this stuff's popular now. You could sell the pictures and all that. And I say, yeah, oh yeah, okay, great. And then a friend of mine was doing this book, a project called Fuel and Guts. And my friend is Tom Madigan, and he was just really on me. He says, your stuff hasn't been published in 40 years, 20 years, whatever. It was like 30 years, something like that. And he said, I want to get your photography because, you know, a lot of times you just see the same old picture. You know, if there's only one or two pictures of a certain event and those are out there, that's always what'll be running books if they cover that particular event. And so I finally got them out reluctantly. And today, of course, you don't need a darkroom. You don't have to deal with the chemicals like I used to do. Scan them and you print it all, you know, with the lights on and watching TV. And this was shot in 1970 at the Ontario Motor Speedway for the California 500, which happened to be Dan Gurney's last IndyCar race. And he had just come in from testing the car. I was 15 years old when I shot this picture. And imagine a 15-year-old kid shooting as a pro, okay, true, but still I'm 15. You know, there's no change in that. Walking up to this guy that's at the end of his career, he's a legend, and I say, yeah, Mr. Gurney, would you mind squatting down next to the car and let me shoot this picture of you? And I'd just like to get a shot. And him saying, yeah, great. It just pulls off his helmet. His hair's going 30 different directions. You look at the palm on his hand and it's dirty from, you know, going out and working on the car and driving the car and all that. There's no setup. There's no PR people. There's nobody around. It's just a photographer walking up to the sports figure saying, hey, can I get a picture of you here? And him saying, yeah, no problem. Snap a couple pictures. It turned out he used it for his fan club for a number of years. I think, again, the most favorite thing for me about photography is the permanence, that you own that moment in time. And, you know, I go back through the photographs and I look at them and I can remember things about the day, things that happened. And a lot of times I can remember shooting that exact picture and, you know, what it was like. I mean, you can relive that memory. And for me, that's obviously different than the viewer that looks at it. But for me, that's what I get out of it. I mean, I love owning that moment.